That's the closest that we're going to get to her admitting that they lied and that actually she was embarrassed, and that's why she pulled out. The PR crisis of epic proportions for Erica, make no mistake. And I think it is obvious that they have some crisis PR person. And Andrew was sort of made to step aside because what an idiot for not thinking that that would backfire when you loop in the executive office into this absurdity.
So Candace Owens just exposed what might be the biggest PR meltdown in conservative politics this year. After Charlie Kirk's assassination, his widow Erica's public behavior sparked massive backlash, and now insiders are finally admitting they've been lying about why she canceled events. This is political damage control completely falling apart.
And it looks like they hired someone probably in the last 24 hours, judging by this article that I just read, which I'm going to show you because this is the first time that the PR was kind of good here for the first time ever. Turning Point did not gaslight the public. So whoever they brought in a woman, and she's like, just stop with the BS. No one believes this. And in the article, get ready, for the first time, they're going to admit that Erica may have done some things that are wrong.
This is extraordinary. Political organizations never admit fault publicly. Standard crisis management is deny, deflect, attack critics. When Turning Point's own sources start telling reporters they were wrong, that signals total internal collapse. Their previous PR strategy clearly imploded so badly they had no choice but pivot to honesty. I
couldn't believe the words I was reading, especially because the Daily Mail is one of their favored rags that just does all of their bidding and pretends that everything they say is right. It says, TPUSA cited concerns over serious threats to her safety, but insiders say that that is not the full story.
When your friendly media outlets start running negative stories with insider sources, you've lost complete control of the narrative. Daily Mail has been reliably pro-Turning Point for years. The fact they're now publishing damaging quotes from confidants means the organization's media relationships have completely broken down.
Kirk has faced criticism from some online commentators who felt that her return to public life after Charlie's death was too swift, or that her appearances struck the wrong tone. A close confidant told the Daily Mail, quote, "She is aware of how she is coming across. She's not stupid. She has seen the online comments. She gets it. It hurts."
This represents a complete strategic reversal. From everything's fine to she knows she messed up. Admitting awareness of criticism while claiming it hurts suggests they're testing public sympathy as a new damage control approach. Smart political figures usually acknowledge mistakes before forced admissions, but this took months of pressure.
Last month, the backlash reached a new level after a viral video by a comedian Drewski mocked Kirk's behavior after her husband's killing, featuring exaggerated expressions and fake tears. The insider continued, "The Drewski video showed her what people thought of her. She's really hurt that people are feeling this way about her, that they're mocking her. She pulled out of the TPUSA event because of a bunch of factors."
Comedy has always been devastatingly effective in politics. Ask Sarah Palin about Tina Fey's SNL impressions. Drewski's viral mockery clearly hit harder than any serious political criticism because humor makes problems stick in public memory. When satire forces behavioral changes, it proves the original critique was accurate.
The source said if there were security concerns, the vice president wouldn't have gone. That's the closest that we're going to get to her admitting that they lied and that actually she was embarrassed and that's why she pulled out.
That VP security detail point completely destroys their official story. Vice presidents travel with Secret Service advance teams that assess threats weeks beforehand. If genuine security concerns existed, those protocols would have prevented Kamala Harris from attending entirely. This admission confirms the security excuse was fabricated.
And then it goes on, by the way, they can never mention me without insulting me in the same sentence, even when they're admitting that I was right. It says, far-right commentator Candace Owens, who has peddled outlandish conspiracy theories about Charlie's death, suggested that Kirk's no-show was due to low ticket sales.
Classic media manipulation. They're validating the criticism while trying to discredit the critic. Calling someone far-right while admitting they were correct creates cognitive dissonance. It's a desperate attempt to maintain some credibility while conceding the argument. Shows they know they lost this battle completely.
But the insider added, it wasn't just the ticket sales either. It was also mental exhaustion of nothing I do will be right and people will make fun of me, so she canceled. Okay, so it was because there were low ticket numbers and you thought that you would be made fun of.
Mental exhaustion from constant mockery is exactly what sustained criticism is designed to achieve. Low ticket sales plus fear of ridicule created a perfect storm that forced the cancellation. This validates the power of persistent accountability, Eventually, even the most defiant figures crack under consistent pressure.
The writer also recaps that in the weeks that followed Charlie's assassination, she returned to the public eye, appearing at events and speaking engagements despite her grief. Critics, however, claim that her behavior came across as performative or unnatural. And the insider says, quote, she says that she was putting on a face, a brave face, and that's why she was doing what she was doing. I agree that it was a bad look. Everyone told her it was a bad look, but she did it anyway.
Admitting performative behavior during grief is politically devastating because it confirms critics' instincts were right. The phrase, putting on a face, essentially confesses to calculated public manipulation during tragedy. When your own team admits, everyone told her it was a bad look, you've lost all credible defense.
I know she's mourning Charlie, we all are, but she just has a funny way of showing it. Do I think that she's mourning enough? That's not for me to say, but do I think that she's coming across badly? Yes. That much is obvious, and finally she's starting to see how weird it all looked. That's a good thing.
Self-awareness arriving this late suggests the criticism finally penetrated their echo chamber. Public figures who ignore early warning signs often face much harsher consequences later. The admission that behavior looked weird confirms months of public perception problems that proper advisors should have caught immediately.
They hired somebody who is not Andrew Colvett, and they are copying to the fact that they have been gaslighting us and that Erica has been weird and that everything that they have done has been wrong and that they are telling us absurd lies and we are catching them in the lies and they keep lying. What Andrew Colvett should have to apologize.
Personnel changes during crisis reveal organizational panic. Firing your communications director mid-scandal means your strategy completely failed. This admission of gaslighting is remarkable because most political operations never concede deception, even when caught. It shows the previous approach became completely unsustainable.
I'm sorry to say, but this feels like a win, right? We gotta take it where we can get it. This feels like a win. Like at long last, someone said, it's not working and we need to pivot. And that's because we have kept up the pressure and we have clocked them on every single lie.
Sustained pressure campaigns work precisely because they force organizations into impossible positions. Keep lying and lose more credibility, or admit fault and validate critics. This victory demonstrates why consistent fact-checking and accountability journalism matters. It took months, but the truth eventually forced its way out.
I'm at the point right now, I want Erica to just drop a book like, If I Did Do It, like OJ did. If I Did Do It by Erica Kirk, I think that would move more copies than the book about Shabbat.
The OJ reference is brilliant because If I Did It became a cultural touchstone for barely concealed confessions. Political tell-alls consistently become bestsellers when they promise insider secrets. The suggestion reveals public appetite for authentic accountability over sanitized political narratives. People want the real story,